Hey, what is up guys, Trinket here and welcome to my no BS best Retribution Paladin guide for the Season 4 patch 10.2.7 in Dragonflight. Today we're going to talk about what are the very best stats possible for Retribution Paladin right now, and then I will be showing you guys what are the best slot items, where to get them because that's super important, and then I will be showing you guys the best build. I will be showing you guys the best PvP talents, and then finally I will be showing you guys the whole burst rotation that is going to allow you guys to deal some massive disgusting damage. On top of that, I will be showcasing some pretty good macros that will make your life a whole lot easier as a Retribution Paladin. Let's get into it. Let's get into what are the best stats for your Retribution Paladin. Right here we have Vanguards, which is the world's best solo shuffle Retribution Paladin player. Okay, so let's see his stats. The most important stat right now for Red Pally is versatility. As you guys see right here, Vanguards has 38% versatility. Most of the time on pretty much every character you don't want more than 30% versatility. The reason why this man has so much versatility is because Retribution Pallies are actually, if you do play Retribution Pally, you actually know what I mean, okay? The next best stat for Red Pally is Mastery. 32% mastery. In fact, it will be much higher as the season unfolds, but right now we are kind of limited in the gear that we can actually choose from. So that's why mastery is kind of lower than haste at the moment. Is haste actually good for Retribution Paladin? Absolutely. Okay, you're gonna need some haste too, but again, as I'm explaining, this is early season. We don't have access to that many pieces of conquest gear, so we're gonna take what we possibly can at this point. The general rule of thumb that you need to remember is if you have the choice between a piece of haste and a piece of mastery, you will take the mastery piece every time. That's how it is. Okay, so for the helmet, Vanguards actually got this tier set piece from a mark of mastery. If you're asking yourself right now, how the hell do I get a mark of mastery? Well, it's pretty simple. All you need to do is get 1600 rating in arenas or solo shuffle or RBGs, and then you will automatically receive a mark of mastery. And then what do you do with that mark of mastery, you're asking me? Right, you need to go into Valdraken, okay, right here. And then you need to enter that house that is right here. Okay, I'm gonna show it again. And then inside that house, there's a girl called Arastrosa. Then you can exchange your mark of mastery for a season 4 tier set piece of your choice. So Vanguards actually went for Earthfire Sentinels 4th. But be wary, okay? Very, very important. I feel super sad for people who skipped on that info. This column right here is PvE gear. You don't want to buy your tier set piece from that place, okay, from that category. If you are intending on gearing into PvP gear, you need to take your piece from that column right here. That is PvP gear. Now that you know how to get that best in slot helmet piece, we're gonna move on to the rest of equipment that you need. Then you're gonna need a necklace with mastery, okay? And Vanguards is actually running with one gem that gives 75 primary stat and 66 versatility. I'm 99% sure that you can craft this gem using a Spark of Awakening, though what happened is most likely Vanguards crafted that gem from the work orders last season and then did not use it until this season and then applied it to his necklace. Okay, the other two gems are gonna be versatility and mastery gems. All right, so as for the shoulders, Heartfire Sentinels Steel Wings. This is a tier set piece, and you're asking yourself, but how do I get it, right? Now, I'm gonna show you guys. It's pretty simple. In fact, you just need to go into the PvP area in Valdraken, okay, right here. Then you talk to Calderax, okay, and then you can get the shoulder piece. Okay, it doesn't matter which one you choose from. Again, it does not matter which one you choose because we are gonna switch that piece of conquest into a piece of tier set. All right, so we did depart from Valdraken. Now we are in tier hold, and tier hold right here, right? My marker is right here. As you can see, there's a little like house. You need to enter in it, and then you're gonna see the revival catalyst. Then when you click on it, you will be able to drag that piece of shoulder from your inventory to that plus, that green plus here, and then upgrade it to the tier set piece that I've shown you that is right here. Heartfire Sentinels Steel Wings, very important. So you guys can actually get it very quickly, okay? And then for the cape, you want Mastery Cape with Regenerative Leech. As for the enchant, which you can buy from the auction house. And then for your chest, you're gonna need the Mastery chest piece, okay, from the honor vendor. And you want the enchant Waking stats, pretty best in slot. And then for your races, you're gonna need a versatility mastery races, okay. And then for your hands, you're gonna need mastery gauntlets, pretty straightforward. For your belt, you're gonna need mastery. You can go with the enchant shadowed belt class, but really it is super costly right now. I would not recommend. Just wait until you get like a better piece so you don't have to buy that enchant. It is very costly, like 10-15k. So as for your legs, you need the mastery legs, okay, from the honor vendor once again, with the enchant that gives 177 agility or strength and 131 stamina, okay. And then for your boots, I'm gonna show you guys exactly how to get those boots because they are absolutely best in slot. You need those boots for Retribution Paladin to actually work right now. It is going to increase your burst tremendously. I don't have them right now because I'm kind of working on 12 tunes at the same time. Anyhow, I'm gonna show you guys how to get them right here and right now. So, how do you get the Infurious War Boots of Impunity, which are absolutely best in slots for Retribution Paladin right now? Well, pretty easy. You're gonna need two things, okay? First one is the easiest one. All you need to do is do some PvP, and once you win your first game, you will receive a PvP box that you open, and then inside there will be Artisans Consortium brochure, okay? And this item right here, once you click on it, it is going to give you a quest, okay? And then you accept the quest. All you do then, you talk to Calderax in the PvP area, you complete the quest, and it is going to give you 2 trophy of conquest, okay? Then bam, I got them in my inventory. Pretty simple so far. Then you're gonna need 2 sparks of awakening. How do you get those sparks of awakening? Again, super simple. You need to talk to Militia right here. She gives you some quests that you need to complete, and then 2 of these quests will actually grant you 1 charge of Spark of Awakening. Once you did those 2 quests, you combine those 2 sparks of splintered sparks of awakening, and then it's going to give you 1 spark of awakening, which you can then use to craft your War Boots of Impunity. And I'm going to show you guys exactly where to go. It is in Valdraken. We're going towards the work orders that is right here, and it is right here on the map again. And then you talk to this goblin, impunity, and then bam, you got them right there. So you're gonna need again that Spark of Awakening. So you need to do those 2 quests to get those 2 charges, combine them together, and then you will be able to use your Draconic Trophy of Conquest that we just got like 10 seconds ago. And then, yeah, pretty much just get those ingredients there from the auction house, and then bam, you're done. You're gonna receive those boots from the mail. If you guys like these kinds of tricks, please leave a subscribe, leave a thumbs up. I would highly appreciate it. It helps my channel a lot. If you want to get another free epic piece of your choice in the week 1 season 4 of Dragonflight, it is pretty simple. In fact, all you need to do is come again at the PvP area in Valdraken, talk to Sogma, okay? She's gonna give you 1 quest, okay? All you need to do is kill players. It's kind of simple, in fact. And then once you complete this quest, you talk to Militia, okay? You're gonna receive 8 trophy of strife, okay? And what you can do with them is actually buy a cape that is way better than the honor cape, it's a free epic piece. I mean, and you can repeat that quest every week. So don't forget about doing that quest every week, because if you do it every week, basically you can get a free additional free epic piece of your choice every week, which is kind of good for a free piece, I mean. And then for your rings, pretty simple. You want Mastery Ring and then another one which has haste on it. And then you want to enchant those rings with versatility. Again, Retribution Paladin is super squish. So moving on to the trinkets, you want Draconic Aspirant's Medallion. Way better than Adaptation. Please don't buy the Adaptation trinket. Please, please don't do it. And then you want the Draconic Aspirant's Insignia of Alacrity. Keep in mind all the enchants, you can find them on auction house, including the gems, apart from the one that gives you 75 primary stat and 66 versatility. I'm pretty sure you need to craft those at the work orders. Now that we spoke about the very best stats possible right now for Retribution Paladin Season 4, we spoke about the best in-slot items. Let's jump right into the talents, okay? So first up, the PvP talents, it's pretty much always the same thing. Aura of Reckoning is pretty much your best bet. Every time you want to use Aura of Reckoning, no matter against who you're playing, Aura of Reckoning is always a top pick. The next one is going to be Judgment of the Pure. What Judgment of the Pure does essentially, it literally dispels rogue poisons. It can dispel a mage's slow ability. It can dispel warlock curses. It's pretty much, if you're playing against warlocks, mages, rogues, it's always good against those characters. Though, keep in mind, Judgments of the Pure can be changed for Blessing of Spell Warding. The reason why Blessing of Spell Warding is that OP, it's cause it's actually a bubble, okay? An anti-magic bubble that makes it so that you are 100% immune to any magical damage effects. So you can also put it on your teammates, so it makes it super freaking strong. You could always switch Blessing of Spell Warding for Searing Glare against double melees. It's kind of hard to pull off, because if you get interrupted, you're literally unable to deal any damage for like 4 seconds, which kind of sucks, so be wary with that. The next one is pretty much a no-brainer. It is called Blessing of Sanctuary. If you're playing against mages, warlocks, pretty much any class that can spam CCs forever, you need to be playing with Blessing of Sanctuary. And what I would say is make 2 macros that target your arena partners, okay, especially your healer, super important. And then bind those 2 macros to your wheel on your mouse, okay, that thing right here, your wheel mouse. And then let's say your hop is going to use your Sanctuary on your healer, and your down is going to use Sanctuary on your friendly DPS. Okay, you absolutely need that. If you're playing Retribution Paladin and you don't make those arena target macros, you are putting yourself at a kind of a big disadvantage. Okay, so now that we spoke about the best PvP talents and what they do, we're gonna talk about the very best build. Okay, so you need to understand something. Pretty much nothing has changed since Season 3. It's pretty much the same stuff. We're playing with boosted Wake of Ashes, all the Wake of Ashes passives, because it kind of pumps very hard. On top of that, your tier set is about dots, so it just makes sense to add more dots. And also, you guys notice we're playing with some haste, so it's going to deal more damage. If you did not know it, more haste means more damage over time. Then we're playing with Final Reckoning. Nothing has changed. I know we used to play a little bit with Execution Sentence. Right now, it's not that worth it, since we're playing with Art of War, which makes it so that your auto attacks have a 20% chance to reset the cooldown of Blade of Justice. We are speccing into Crusader's Reprieve. Okay, and what's happening is you're gonna need a lot of those Blades of Justice to buff your final verdict. If you don't know how the tier set works, okay, you basically have to use a Blade of Justice on your target and then hit a Judgment. And if you need to switch target, This is where Art of War actually becomes super good because you have a chance to reset the cooldown of Blade of Justice, allowing you to repeat the process. This is what I hate about being forced into playing a tier set. We're kind of forced into playing the best stallions possible, but don't worry, I got you covered. If you hit the subscribe and the bell button, you won't miss out on all the updated build videos that I will be putting out over the next weeks, months. Also in the next expansion, the War Within, I cannot wait for that expansion. We're also playing with Divine Arbiter, which actually slaps super hard and it synergizes so well with your Aura of Reckoning. It is absolutely crazy the damage that you can pull off with that. I'm not gonna keep talking too long about this build because it's literally the same build as the last season, okay? But what I need to say right now is we're playing into Holy Aegis, okay, which increases our armor and critical strike chance by 2%. We are only using 1 point in it, and you're gonna say, but bro, I kind of miss having like 2 divine steeds. And I would say, yes, me too, but we're kind of forced right now. I mean, the only point that we might remove to put into Cavalier is Holy Aegis, but you're kind of nerfing your armor and your critical strike chance by 2% for that additional divine steed charge. So the choice is yours. It's a pretty difficult choice for me. All right, so let's get into the full burst rotation, okay? I just need to explain you guys one thing. If you plan on playing the full tier set bonus, okay, 4 pieces of the tier set, you absolutely need to understand something. Is I've spoke about that actually. You need to use Blade of Justice first, and then you need to use Judgment. And then what happens is your next final verdict, watch this, okay? Your next final verdict actually hits twice, okay? So your rotation should be around always prioritizing your Blade of Justice and then a Judgment. But I'm gonna show you guys a little trick that makes it very much easier. So listen carefully, this is very important, okay? So we're playing with Divine Resonance. What happens when we're playing with Divine Resonance is after using your Divine Toll, you will be casting Judgment once every 5 seconds for 15 seconds. So you gotta abuse that in your own rotation. You got to abuse it. Whenever you use Blade of Justice on your target, it actually procs Expurgation for 6 seconds, okay? So you gotta understand that part. You always need to use... So, when you use Blade of Justice, okay, it puts a dot on your target, which is called Expurgation. It lasts for 6 seconds, and basically if you Judgment while the buff is active, your next final verdict is going to hit twice. Thus, the reason why I'm being annoying right now. Why I'm showing you that right now is because our rotation is highly dependent on the tier set, okay? Let's read the tooltip. Expurgation lasts an additional 3 seconds and deals 30% increased damage. So Expurgation is the little debuff that you put on your enemy whenever you use Blade of Justice. Okay, so far so good. And then casting Judgment or Divine Toll on a target with Expurgation causes Wrathful Sanction, basically dealing more damage. On top of that, it deals AoE damage to 4 nearby enemies. This is why this is important, but it is not all. Whenever Wrathful Sanction grants you Echoes of Wrath, okay, which is whenever you actually final verdict into Judgment, you get Echoes of Wrath. When you have Echoes of Wrath, your next final verdict is going to hit twice. Once at 100% effectiveness, and then another time at 25% effectiveness. So let's say you're heading your final verdict with Echoes of Wrath buff active, you will hit, let's say, 100k, and then afterwards 25k, which is, if you don't do this rotation the best you can, okay, according to the tier set, you're gonna lose 30% increased damage from Expurgation. On top of that, you're gonna lose the damage you would have otherwise caused with Judgment every time you hit the target with Expurgation. On top of that, you're gonna lose on AoE damage. On top of that, you're gonna lose on your Echoes of Wrath. Do you understand now why I say that I hate being forced into playing a tier set? I hate it. Alright, so finally let's get into the full burst rotation. Don't forget that I don't have the best gear right now, okay? I'm using the tier set from the past season, which is the same tier set as this season, but it is not as high level. So if you have the right gear, which I've shown you at the beginning of the video, you will be expecting to deal way more damage. On top of that, we're not running with the Infurious War Boots of Impunity, which actually increases our damage by a ton whenever we CC our enemies, okay? As you might know it, as a Pally, you need to open the fight with a stun at all costs. It also procs your War Boots of Impunity, which I've explained you guys how to get. All right, let's get into it. Okay, good. Refresh our Expurgation. Expurgation about to fall off. We're gonna refresh it. 300k DPS? What the heck? My gear is terrible. My gear is terrible. That's kind of good, man. I have like past season gear right now. It's just kind of dumb. But I cannot wait to actually see the damage that we can actually pull off. It's going to be terrible, dude. I mean, Retribution Paladin is going to be still strong, but not as strong than in season 2. But you know, it's still gonna be kind of strong. At this point, we're still waiting for the Vine Toll, okay? Expurgation again. We're just chilling. And then we will be using Final Reckoning in just a second now, okay? Final Reckoning again with the Vine Toll, again Expurgation. We're just like pumping that Expurgation damage at all costs. We refresh our Expurgation. We literally just live to press Expurgation at this point, right? So that was pretty much it. I think we hit 318k DPS, which is kind of dumb because I got absolute crap gear. So you guys are gonna be dealing way more damage with this season's gear. Single target, pretty dumb. So let's take a look into it. Final Verdict dealing 320k. Again, with Expurgation, it will deal damage again for 15% of its damage. So that's starting to be some damage. Okay, and Judgment hitting for what the heck? 226k. That's absolutely dumb. And then we got Hammer of Wrath hitting for 161k, which is not bad. I mean, it has super long range. Our big Wake of Ashes hitting for disgusting damage. Absolutely crazy damage. Our Crusading Strikes, which is basically an auto attack at this point, actually pumping almost like 7% of our total damage. Of course, we actually hit a target that was 0-0 mobile, but even so, Crusading Strikes, as I've explained, actually help reset your Blade of Justice. So if you can actually stay close to your target and hit the target in melee range, you're gonna proc your Blade of Justice cooldown reset much more often, which is going to be super beneficial for your long-term rotation. And then Divine Arbiter hitting for 200k, absolutely crazy. Expurgation hitting for disgustingly bad damage. I hate this tier set, I hate it. Alright, let's talk about the macros. The first macro that I want to show you guys is the Final Reckoning Hover macro. Why is it that good? Because usually whenever you use Final Reckoning, you need to re-click on the ground to actually use the ability, which I think is super lame. And now, as for the macros, they're pretty simple, but pretty effective, okay? So I got one macro for Final Reckoning. Usually when you use Final Reckoning, you kind of need to aim with your mouse, and then when you use Final Reckoning, you need to repress on the ground to use it, which makes that pretty clunky in my opinion, but I got the fix, okay? It's a hover macro. With this Final Reckoning macro, wherever you put your mouse, whenever you press the final reckoning, bam, it goes off right away. On top of it, this final reckoning macro actually uses your 1 minute on use offensive trinket, which makes a lot of sense because both your trinket and your final reckoning have 1 minute cooldown. This next macro is pretty much a freaking joke, man. It is kind of super broken. If you guys did not know, whenever you are playing with Draconic Aspirant's Emblem, okay, you can use my macro, which is going to use the Draconic Aspirant's Emblem, which is going to boost your health, and then it is going to use the Shield of Vengeance. But what you guys don't know is Shield of Vengeance actually scales off of your health, your total HP. So the more health that you have, the bigger the shield. So I'm gonna get into PvP combat right here and press my macro. Watch this. My Shield of Vengeance is absorbing 1 million damage. 1 million damage! That is dumb! Basically how this macro works is pretty funny. You just need to talk to Celtrex, which is in the PvP area in Valdraken, the honor vendor. You go towards the page 5. You buy Wild Truffles. Basically, Wild Truffles increase your health by 20%, okay? And when you use my macro, it uses Wild Truffles, it uses your Draconic Aspirant's Emblem, and then it uses your Shield of Vengeance, making it very hard for the enemy to actually kill you. Keep in mind, the Wild Truffles won't work in arenas or RBGs, but in random BGs, in epic BGs, and world PvP, it is going to transform you into a freaking juggernaut. Okay, I'm gonna show you guys again once more. We're gonna get into PvP combat right here. Wild Truffle has a 5-minute CD though, so just keep that in mind. We're gonna use the macro once again, okay, using it right now. So that shield gives me 1 million freaking absorb. 1 million freaking absorb. That is kind of crazy. Hopefully guys learned a thing or two. If you did, please hit the subscribe button, the bell button, share my builds to your friends who would be interested in learning how to play Retribution Paladin in the Season 4 Dragonflight. That would actually help my small channel a whole lot. Anyhow, see you in the next one. Hopefully you guys have a ton of fun in the Season 4 Dragonflight. Thanks for watching. This was Clunky Doo. Stay awesome, gentlemen.